War Council. A few days later, the rebel delegation lands inside the White Mountain. They seem impressed. We've got hot showers now, melting glacier water piped along the steaming crater walls, and enough solar panels to recharge a hover car in just a few hours. Instead of a tent, we hold the War Council in a real building. It's made from trees and smells like sap and fresh-cut wood. The table is the same recycled jump deck, but someone has burned the Palafox seal into the center. I'm pretty sure the rebels only care about the showers. They've sent 3 bosses, Boss Charles and 2 others she's fought beside, and Yandere. For us, it's me, Cole, and Tio at the table, along with Zura, Major Sarkos, Artura, Vigil, and Dr. Levia. A tight group for keeping secrets. The first thing Cole asks is, how certain are you that this peace conference is real? Our spies in the city governments all say the same thing, Boss Charles says. Shrev wants to make a deal, but in secret, so they don't look like the pressure is getting to them. The conference location is completely off the grid, a small island in the Pacific. No feeds allowed. What's Shrev offering to get the embargo lifted? Cole asks. That's also secret. Of course, I say. My father doesn't go into negotiations without a few surprises ready. He'll propose something unexpected, just tempting enough to divide the other cities. The rebels are watching me closely, still a little perplexed by sitting at parley with their enemy's daughter. Even Yandere gives me a double take every now and then. I'm starting to wonder if people will always look at me this way, once my secret's out. Maybe pretending to be Raffia was the normal part of my life, and it's all gawking and whispering from here on. It doesn't matter what he's offering, Zura says. If we time our attack right, he'll be out of power before the conference even starts. Everyone's eyes turn to me again, taking my measure as an imposter. I'm ready to convince them. I've dressed like Raffi today in the exact suit she wore for my father's birthday last year, or as close as our hole in the wall could come to it, at least. Yandere did my hair and makeup earlier, and I'm sitting with Raffi's balletic posture, prim and uptight, soldiers back, imperious. It's time to bring freedom back to Shrev, I say in her voice. My father's rule must end. Charles gives a grumbly chuckle, like she always does when I imitate my sister. Boss X leans forward, his strange eyes slicing through me. He's the most extreme of the rebels, radically surged into a cross between a wolf and a man. He gave up his human name when he joined them, and his voice has been surged to a low growl. So you're going to conquer him with oratory? Every revolution starts with the right words, I say. Boss X looks unconvinced. He's going to make his own speech, threaten them to stay in line, remind them who's in charge. We should cut him off from the feeds. We don't have to, I say. If he speaks up from some island in the middle of the ocean, we'll have to admit he snuck away to bargain for peace. And we can't attack the conference, Tio says. We have allies there. Boss X shrugs. Your allies, not ours. We don't want to start a larger war, Cole says. We want to end this one. But the people in Shrev have breathed dust for 10 years, Boss Charles says. They've got no weapons. How do they overthrow an army? They don't have to, I explain. My father doesn't go anywhere without his favorite officers, his most loyal units. Whatever's left in the city will be easy to sway to our side, even if the revolt isn't total, Cole says. Our forces will be there to tip the balance. He waves a hand and the air screen projector sputters to life. A scale model of my home city appears in the table. The stolid skyline, the new defenses, and the suborbital pads, the ragtag Victorian fleet appears in the surrounding farm belt. I stand and point a ringed finger at my father's tower on the outskirts. This is our objective, the seat of his power. Dr. Levia stands beside me. From there, we take control of the city feeds to broadcast Frey's speech. We'll also corrupt the dust with a virus. For the first time in a decade, the people of Shrev can say whatever they want about their dear leader. Freedom all at once. Third boss starts to shake his head. He is the oldest of them, with an unserved face and static tattoos. He has an accent I've never heard before, and a strange name, Andrew Simpson Smith. According to Yandere, he once fought alongside Tally Youngblood herself. I have seen that tower, he says. Many drones protect it. You're right, I say. It's the best defended spot in the whole city. We'll have to take it by stealth, not force. A low growl comes from Boss X. So you're sneaking in? I was promised a stand-up fight. A fight is what you'll get. I fix his yellow, lupine eyes with my best Rafi stare. We'll launch a full-on assault on the city, and once the sky is full of damage, Shrev hovercraft in retreat, my team will slip in alongside them. With a wave of my hand, the cityscape is replaced with the image of one of our captured hovercars. Zura has skinned it to match the Shrev home guard. She's also added some bogus battle scars and smoke bombs on 2 of the engines. This is our Trojan horse, a damaged Shrev car fleeing from the front line. We'll crash land near the towers, fight our way through any household guards, and grab my sister. Then we take control of the feeds, and I declare a new era for the city. Yandere speaks up. What if Rafia's with your father? I draw a slow breath, trying not to show any emotion. She won't be. Yandere looks sympathetic, but says, You can't know that, Frey. It won't matter, Cole cuts in. We'll have his tower, his dust, and our own Rafia ready to make the speech that the people of Shrev have always wanted her to make. All he'll have is a reluctant daughter. The 3 rebel bosses look at me. Reluctant? Charles asks. My sister despises him. There's certainty in my voice again. Even if he puts her on the feeds to show that I'm not real, I'll be the more convincing Rafia. They look like they believe me, but then Artura Vigil speaks up. It seems like a gamble, putting everything we've got into one battle. She looks at Major Sarkos. Isn't that the riskiest thing a guerrilla army can do? Sarkos looks uncomfortable. He's never liked the idea of shifting from sabotage to all-out battle. Vigil turns to me. And isn't this exactly the sort of dangerous venture your father would want us to try, Rafia? I give her a cold glare. My name is Frey. So you keep telling us, and your plan seems designed to deliver us straight to your father. Cole sits up straighter. What are you saying, Artura? She tells us there's a real Rafia back in Shrev, but we've only seen that girl for a few moments on a balcony, waving and smiling. That other girl has given no interviews, no speeches on the feeds, as if she's trying to hide something. Artura's eyes sweep the room. Well, here in front of us sits a much more convincing Rafia, telling us to send our army into danger. What if this whole story about twins is a lie? The world turns inside out for a moment. What if I'm the real Rafia, and the girl back in Shrev is the imposter? I grip the edge of the table, reminding myself that I'm real. Cole places a hand on mine. This is absurd. There's no way anyone could have planned all this from the beginning. She is no doubt improvising, Vigil says, but Rafia's already admitted coming to Victoria to make us lower our guard. Why shouldn't she play the same trick twice if we're foolish enough to fall for it? They're all looking at me, but I don't know what to say. I've spent my whole life convincing people that I'm Rafi. How am I supposed to do the opposite? Maybe dressing up like my sister today was a bad idea. Her name is Frey, Cole says softly, and the world settles a little around me. And we know she's on our side. She could have captured me on the way here. Me too, Tio points out. Vigil only smiles, her cool expression reminding me a little of Sren. Even with you two captured, there'd still be an army, Cole. No, there wouldn't, I argue. I could have told my father where this base is. He'd be here already. Vigil's smile doesn't fade. Isn't it easier if we come to him? And better for his reputation, he wins this war defending his own city instead of hunting down strays? Frey is exactly who she says she is, Cole shouts. I'm certain of it. That's the last we'll hear of this ridiculous theory. Vigil bows her head, and the table falls silent. But the glimmer of distrust stays on all their faces. It's an unlikely victory that Vigil is telling, but no stranger than the truth of me. I was born a lie. Why should any of them believe me now? I want to speak for myself, to keep the argument going in spite of Cole's orders. But the words don't come because part of me is never really certain who I am. It's Boss Charles who breaks the silence, letting out a huge laugh. What a mess! She claps me on the shoulder. Maybe you're raffia, maybe you're Frey, maybe your little coup that works, maybe it fails. But my raiders are in either way. It'll be the most chaos we've seen since Callie Youngblood disappeared. She's not coming to save us, Boss Andrews says reverently, which is why we have to take chances. My people will join as well. It's hardly a ringing endorsement, but at least they aren't running away. We all turn to Boss X. For a long moment, he doesn't look human at all. The corner of his mouth droop and his ears go back against his head. I don't know what the expression means, but it charges the air in the room. My pack will join on one condition, he says. I'm coming along in your captured hover car. Okay, Cole gives him a frown, but I thought you wanted a stand-up fight, not sneaking around. There'll be plenty of fighting. A ripple goes across Boss X's fur as he turns to me, and a little sneaking is worth a visit to your father's house. For what purpose, Cole asks. It's personal, Boss X says. He leans back and doesn't say another word. Rebels, Zura mutters softly. I give Cole the slightest shrug. Boss X's personal business doesn't matter to me, nor do I care if the rebels are more interested in causing chaos than in trusting me. All that matters is that we have a plan to save my sister.